folks, happy Friday. And it's a very special Friday this week, isn't it? Because it is a bank holiday. Now, we're a bit late today because silly old me's been having some technical issues where I've been trying to copy and paste links and it's all gone a bit pear-shaped and a bit Pete-tongue. Well, I've managed to get one of my guests in, but not all three of them. So two of them are probably going to join us very, very shortly. So I hope you are all well. And I hope you are looking forward to a fabulous bank holiday weekend. I always love the August bank holiday, actually. You normally get up to some good shenanigans over an August bank holiday. It's looking like the sun's going to be a bit out, isn't it? So that is good news. So the first guest I've got with me today is Samantha, who is, I'm doing that, but actually she's that side, isn't she? It depends which way I'm looking at this thing. And Sam is one of our main stage speakers. In fact, I think you're top of the shop, aren't you?
I am opening up the very first day on the main stage.
Is Steph. So let me just bring Steph in and then we'll come back to this conversation. Here's Steph. Hello, Steph. We managed to get you in the end, my dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's nice to see you. I was literally just introducing Samantha, who is next to you. So yes, there's two of my three guests are here. One more to go. So yes, we were just saying that actually Sam is the first of our main stage speakers that is going to be up at Womanifest. So Jane from Girls Out Loud and I will obviously be opening up the festival up. So we're not just going to chuck her in there straight off and leave her to it to get the party started. Here's Beth. Sorry, Beth. Technical challenges, but we got you all here in the end. So thank you everybody for sticking with it. So yes, Bank Holiday Friday. Is everyone all set for a good Bank Holiday weekend?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, going to London next week. So,
there you go. There you go. Some good things on the horizon. Yes, I've just been saying hello to everybody. If you are on and watching, Bev's already been on and give us a wave. If anybody else is there, I can see a couple of you are. Do come on and say hello to us this Friday. Because not only is it Bank Holiday weekend, but actually we're just 3 weeks away now from the festival happening. And actually, if the weather continues nicely, then we might also get a lovely bit of sunshine for the event. As long as it stays dry, I don't really mind. Although we have got full weather provision. Oh, look, there you go. Bev's on. So good to see you on. So you were last. Were you last on the lineup of Be Inspired when you were?
Yeah.
First, from last right up to first. So yes, so I'm sure you can all imagine. It's like a beehive here at Womanifest HQ. I daren't even show you around my office. There's that many boxes of all kinds of stuff in here getting delivered. It's crackers. Today I've been spending my time trying to order yoga mats. That's fun and entertaining, as well as sorting out waste bins. So yeah, it's just so glamorous putting a festival on like that. It doesn't become glamorous until we actually get the glitter on our faces, does it? So yeah, that means we've only got 3 Festival Fridays left, including this one. I don't know whether we'll do Festival Friday the day before, probably, but we'll be up there having tents erected at that point. So I'll be able to give you a good old tour of the venue in preparation. But each week I've been bringing you lots of our guests that are going to be appearing at Womanifest, and this week is no different. I've got another 3 fabulous ladies that are going to be at the event and are going to be putting on some fantastic stuff for you guys to be involved in. So yeah, we started with Sam. So we'll go back to Sam now that we've got a full cohort of everybody here now. So Sam, do me a favour. Couple of things I'd like you to talk to everybody about. Well, 2 things. And I'll ask this of Beth and Steph as well shortly. Number 1, what is it that you really like about Womanifest? Why is it that you want to come? And number 2, if you then want to tell everybody a little bit about what you do and what you're going to be talking about, what you're going to be opening the show with at the event.
Okay, so first question. The thing that attracted me, I suppose, to Womanifest was I am one of those women who struggled all the way through life until I got to 40 and went, hang on a minute, is this it? Is this really what it's all about? Like, I needed to do something about it. So, and I did. and I changed my life around completely. Without going into the story too much, I was a stressed teacher, exhausted.
Yeah.
I was teaching. I literally was working like 60 to 80 hours a week, and I'd given up my life for the dedicated to the profession pretty much. I kind of gave everything to all my kids, that I was teaching. They were primary kids. And then I was coming home and I had nothing left. And so the struggle for me was that realization that something needed to change. And I've since, and this is what I help people with, kind of getting out of that rut, which I'll come on to. But for me, it's like I see so many women struggling constantly, stuck in that rut, just thinking there is no other way.
Yeah.
And you're so blinkered into this way of being and doing everything that you do that you don't even dare consider that there might be something different out there. And Womanifest is going to be filled with women and teenagers whose life I know that I can impact with what I've got to say.
Yeah.
Because I was there, and what I don't want is for people to these women and girls to get to 40 like I did before they realized it. I bring people now into my business and they're like in their 20s. I'm like, you don't know you're born. Like, I've just saved all that for you. I don't want them to have to go through what I did in the stresses and struggles of life to get to that moment of realization. I want them to have that moment of realization early on.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that resonates with so many people about being kind of like almost at the brink of burnout. That's one thing that I notice so much, me included, a lot of the time, that I'm just like, I'm spent. I've got nothing left in the tank. My head just feels like it's almost like a nest of bees sometimes. It just, there's that much stuff whizzing around in it.
Yeah.
And we kind of just stoically power on through, don't we?
Yeah.
And I've no idea of all the abundance of stuff that could be out there in the world that might be helpful to make our lives not just easier or less stressful, but actually a bit more pleasurable and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what we're able to do with a festival like this. It's almost like enlightening people to the buffet of fabulousness that they can come and have a little picky eat of, taste stuff, see what they like, try stuff they've never tried before without fully committing to it, and have their eyes opened a little bit to think, oh my God, didn't even know that existed, didn't even know it was a thing, or knew about it, but was a bit skeptical. But this has enabled me to have a little bit of a taste of something that I've never had before. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
What will your talk be all about? What will they learn? What will it give them?
Well, there's a couple of things, really.
Yeah.
First of all, in what I do, I'm in network marketing.
Yeah.
And so many women come into network marketing to kind of dip their toe into what it's like to own a business, or like try a little bit of something different.
Yeah.
Only to be kind of put off by lots of negative opinions around the industry. There's a lot of real negativity surrounding the entire industry. And I hate that, because there are people like me who have managed to power on through that and get to the other side and have a successful life and business at the other side of it. You don't have to come in just to earn a little bit of extra money so that you can afford to pay for your kids to go on trips or whatever. You don't have to look at it like that. And I think there are so many people out there who are shouting in this whole online world. Everyone's just shouting over each other the whole time. Like, they feel like they need to be loud to be heard. And everyone's like, oh, buy my thing, or do this and do that. And it's all so loud. And I'm going to be talking about how, do you really need to be loud to get your point across? I mean, I come across as quite a confident person, I would think. But I'm not, although I might be confident, I'm actually a complete introvert. I like my own company, and I want people to understand that it's okay to like your own company and enjoy being on your own. You don't have to go and compare yourself to other people and be this kind of loud person to be heard, because you don't. Because sometimes I think when you do something a little bit differently, you're noticed more.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting point, that, isn't it? Is that a lot of people think actually they just need to be a bit louder if people aren't taking notice of them. And what about if these people are outside of the online world? Does it still apply?
Yeah, absolutely. Even at the festival itself, you don't have to go and talk to everybody to get to know all of these things. You can literally just turn up and be yourself and quiet in a corner. It's the kind of place where people are going to migrate to you and speak to you because you're sat on your own in a corner. Do you know what I mean? It's you don't have to go out there, and be this kind of larger than life personality to be noticed.
Okay. Almost you end up trying to be something that you're not, and not your authentic self in that kind of place.
Yeah. And I think
don't know about the other ladies. I guess there's been times in my life where I felt a little bit like that. To achieve the thing I want to achieve, does it mean I have to alter me as a person to be able to do that? And that's really nice then to go, oh, there is another way. In fact, there's probably a few other ways, and it's got me to start to think about that, Bev's saying, Mythbuster, confident introverts do exist. Absolutely.
That's it. That's what people think, that because you're quiet, you're not confident. Well, that's not true. I think kind of the opposite, really. I'm super confident. I just don't need to go out there and shout about it.
Yeah, and I think one thing I've noticed as well, especially as you kind of come to, come out of your 30s, into your 40s, maybe even into your 50s, which a lot of the women at our event will be, is that actually some of them start to feel a little bit invisible, almost like they're then forgotten about, put up on the shelf after a certain point in their life. And it might be nice for women who maybe are feeling in that kind of space at the minute to again, find a way to reignite their spark, but bring their true selves back to the party, I guess. Yeah.
And teenagers as well. I think in school, if girls are quiet in school, they're kind of more susceptible to kind of the bullies, and they think they have to be loud to stand up for themselves. Well, I want them to know that they don't have to be at all. They can just be like, I know better. I'm just going to walk away, because that's actually the sensible thing to do.
Do you know what? I love that it's as relevant to the teen girls that we will have at this event as it will be to the women. So basically, no matter what stage you are at in life, these are practical tips, tools, mindset shifts, all kinds of things that allow you to take the pressure off yourself to be something that you are not, still have a voice, still be heard, but be able to do that in your own authentic way, whatever context that fits into your life. And that's a really powerful message, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fab. And actually, just talking about the teen girls, that's a perfect opportunity to kind of bring the lovely Beth into the conversation. Beth's there with a big, massive, long title at the bottom of her screen, but it's a really important title, isn't it, Beth? So do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit and tell everybody a bit about what that title is?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Beth and I work for Girls Out Loud. So I'll be in the teen tents over the weekend. And my job is a well woman yoga therapist. So what that means is that I work with women to help women to embrace their bodies, to optimize their womb health, and to recognize that womb health is so important for underpinning our entire health and well-being as women.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to be part of Womanifest, and also just to know that there's so much value being placed on how we integrate the teen girls that will be attending the festival and what we provide for them in terms of their experience, because so much of what I do, similarly to what Sam's saying, is that like a lot of women come to these sort of realizations later on in their life about how to sort of reconnect with their bodies and to really get to know the power that lies within themselves. But actually, when we can intervene earlier on and reach our teen girls at a really crucial time in their lives, you know, especially when it comes to womb health. So obviously at the moment, you know, it's a really powerful time to be supporting teen girls with mental health, because I think it's kind of moved into a really chronic time with regards to mental health between teen girls and young people in general.
Yeah.
Especially in the last couple of years, that's really kind of, you know, compacted that experience. But also to sort of recognize that the ways we as women learn to become disconnected from our bodies, or learn to feel shame and embarrassment and dislike towards our own bodies, begins at such an early age and is really kind of embedded within us during those teenage years. And that's so closely linked to the sort of first rite of passage into womanhood that we experience at that time in our lives of beginning our menstrual cycle. You know, and our periods are so cloaked with this taboo, you know, such a sense of shame and hiding it all away, this expectation to sort of carry on life as if you don't have a womb cycle, as if you don't have a menstrual cycle, and, you know, to kind of be able to power through, like you're saying, Jodes, about that sort of stoic attitude, just getting on with things, getting on with it, when actually what we're learning and what we're teaching our young girls in that mentality is to suppress the needs of our own body, you know, is to suppress the messaging that our body is providing in terms of when we need rest. You know, rest is not a luxury item. Rest is a necessity. And we learn to feel guilty about that need for rest. You know, we're taught that that's a lazy thing or a negative thing to need rest.
You know, I had to give myself a bit of a talking to just about that precise thing yesterday, where I had almost again gotten into the trap of, all right, it's a bank holiday weekend, you know, oh, I'd love to just down tools for the weekend and not do anything. Or to, well, actually rest, not do anything. Resting is doing something. So that was trap number one. Trap number two was, I just haven't got time. I've got so much to do, you know, which is ironic. You're arranging a well-being festival and you haven't got time to rest. And then, you know, I had to kind of stop and say, actually, the most efficient and effective thing I can do is rest. That is the most productive thing I could do right now. But having to consciously walk myself through that was massive yesterday. You know, so it's a tough thing, and you're right. It's something that's just been embedded in me from such a young age to just, you know, come on, get up, dust yourself down. You're only having a period, for God's sake, crack on. Yeah. Stoically, head down, keep going. And it's not how we do be our best and do our best stuff, is it?
Exactly. And it teaches us this feeling of resentment towards our own bodies as well, because, you know, the patriarchal systems we're living in expect that of us. So then you're fighting against your biological needs, your physiological needs, and that creates this tension in the body, tension in the mind, stress, and that manifests in so many ways in our lives. But one of the sort of key things that I want to kind of look at when I'm working with the teen girls over the weekend is that sort of messaging that encourages us to disregard our body's needs teaches us things like disregarding our own boundaries, not meeting our own essential needs in favor of meeting other people's needs, you know, not sort of believing in ourselves. You know, we develop this mistrust of our own sort of gut instincts, you know, so it affects our self-belief and self-worth. So being able to work with teen girls and talk about womb health and experience it through the practice of yoga is so exciting. So we'll be focusing the practice on a womb-centered yoga practice. We'll be bringing
one of these with Beth, so I've experienced this, and it was such a wonderful session. I felt so good, settled, content, light, a bit free after we just had a bit of a taster session, didn't we, when we were together as a Girls Out Loud team not so long ago. So I know wholeheartedly just how much the girls will get out of doing this.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jo.
It was epic. I was so chilled as well that evening when I went home. It just felt fabulous. You know, and actually, this is the thing, right, is we all four of us, can't even count today, all four of us, we take ourselves back to being, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah? Did anybody, can you imagine if anybody would have ran a session for us or even had a conversation with us about our womb health and doing womb-centered practices, or even talking about giving us any kind of empowering experience, or to go to a festival like this with your mum or with your auntie or with your best mate and her mum. You know, it really doesn't matter who these teen girls come along with, as long as they are with an adult. But we just want to be able to give so many teenage girls an experience of empowerment that they will never have experienced before, and that we never got the chance to do when we were young. And actually, this is the most important part of Womanifest, because these girls are the next generation of us, and it's our job as grown women to pave the way for them and make this as easy as possible for them to have a bit of a different path through life than some of us have had. You know, that's not necessarily, I can't sit here and say mine's been awful, but knowing what I know now, and I look back at some of the journey that's taken place in that, and I think, wow. At the time, you're just like, oh, well, this is life. And they'll be thinking that too. They won't be sitting there thinking that things need to change for them. It will only be when they get to 40, like Samantha was talking about, they, you know, become a grown-up, that they look back and think, oh. So actually, I want them to just look back and go, it was so good that we got to do that, and we had these women around us at this time to make a change for us. So yeah,
absolutely, yeah. So sorry. So we'll be focusing on kind of bringing them back into connection with their bodies, celebrating their unique, magnificent self-expression. And also at the end of the day, there'll be a meditation session, which will be just a really luxurious hour of deep, nourishing, nurturing rest. And also with that message that rest is essential. It's part of what we need, and it's something to value and integrate into our lives more regularly. Yeah.
Amazing. You know what? I just want these girls to be able to walk away knowing that it's okay. And it's really good to put their own needs front and centre. You know, if we do just that, if some of them walk away and you say, what did you take away from being at Womanifest? If it's something along those lines, I'll be like, oh, bingo. We've started the journey for them. Oh, thank you, Beth. Thank you. I don't know, Samantha, Steph, does that resonate with you in terms of some of your experiences as a teen girl yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I definitely wasn't ever, you know, there was never anything like that for me. It almost feels alien to me that to even think it, like you were saying. Yeah. And I was just also chuckling along to myself and thinking, this is great, empowering these teen girls. But I have a stepdaughter who's almost 19, and I think it's great to empower them, but then I think, oh, we're actually making a rod for our own backs at the same time, because they're going to stand up to us too, aren't they? Which is great. We want that.
No, yeah.
But we need to be ready.
Yeah, and we've got to be great role models for that.
Yeah.
And that's massively important, you know, for the event, is that we inspire this next generation for all the right reasons to do some of these things. But yeah, you know what, we could cause ourselves a little bit of a challenge, but it'll be the right challenge to have, and you know, that's why we should do it anyway. So yeah. Steph, what about you?
Oh, what about me?
Teen girl.
Well, I went to a Catholic school in the 1980s.
Yeah.
So I don't think they even mentioned the word womb.
No.
Yeah, it was a different world, wasn't it? Completely different world. I mean,
You're a mum to boys, actually, aren't you?
I'm sorry, I've got 3 boys, so you know, my focus is just bringing them up to be respectful to women.
Brilliant.
And they are wonderfully.
Yeah, and that's through having a great role model mum who doesn't take any messing about, has her own boundaries, does things for herself, makes the boys pick up their dirty socks and their underpants.
Oh, I don't think we'll go that far.
That a bit too much, just
They're not that well trained.
Oh, well, do you know what?
Not yet.
They're doing good stuff. They're doing good stuff. So we'll let them off on the socks occasionally, can't we? But Steph, you're going to be at the event doing something a little bit different, aren't you? So do you want to kind of share with everybody a little bit about you and then what you're going to be doing at the festival?
Okay, so I'm Steph. I'm an author and I write under the pseudonym of S.J. Carmine. And I started writing during lockdown when my fledgling business just stopped. And the reason I started writing, I was suffering with a lot of menopausal anxiety, and I knew I had to make myself laugh. And I read a couple of lines from 50 Shades of Grey, and I thought, no, women aren't like this. We snag our tights, we've got cellulite, we've got frizzy hair. So I thought, well, why don't I turn it on its head, write a book that's the antithesis of 50 Shades of Grey, make it funny, and write it with a strong, feisty heroine who knows her own boundaries, doesn't take any shit, and doesn't do anything she doesn't want to. And yeah, it's done quite well. I've written a series.
Better than quite well, by the way, everybody. So this is the thing for Steph at Womanifest, is learning to shout about herself.
Okay, so it was the second best-selling book on the whole of Amazon, and I was sandwiched between the hairy bikers and Richard Osman, which is a sentence I never, ever in my life thought I would ever say.
Being sandwiched between those two. So
but
tell everybody
isn't it funny though? Hairy bikers, hairy bits. It was like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Yeah, what's the title of your book? Tell everybody. Well, not just the one book either now, are we?
There's 5 in the series, but I've also put them together in one volume.
Yeah, you know, so you can read them all.
But I suffered like quite a crisis of confidence. That's why I used the pen name, and that's why I split them down into smaller books, because I thought, well, if the shit, you know, people aren't wasting too much money, they're not wasting too much time, and no one needs to know.
Yeah. And so you've been all over the place a bit with this book, weren't you? On oh, my brain's gone dead. Was it this morning you got?
I did a phone in on this morning.
Yeah.
And it seemed to resonate with women.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, we're bombarded, aren't we, at the moment? We are bombarded with images of women who've got perfect hair, tits and teeth.
Yeah.
And my woman is not that woman.
No.
And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. You know, it's what's on the inside is important, not what's on the outside, you know. It's like she said, you know, you can be drop dead gorgeous, but if you don't have a good heart, what's the point? So she's very, you know, the character in the book is just, she's been described as truer to a woman's heart than you could possibly imagine.
Wow.
And that's, you know, I'm happy. I'm pleased that people can relate to her and they've taken her into their hearts.
Yeah. So Steph is going to be taken to the main stage in one of our performance slots to kind of bring this book to life, to share with you. Yeah, to share with you some of the laughs, I guess. But she's here to entertain us, make us laugh, but actually with the things that resonate with us all, to make us feel that actually that's all normal. What we experience is normal. We're kind of in this together, and let's make light of some of this stuff.
Because it's very important for me as a menopausal woman to say, look, you know, it's horrible, it's vile, but you know, it's not the end. It's not all downhill. You know, it's a beginning. You know, look at it as a new beginning. because it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 75. If you've got a dream, go for it. And I just, that's it. I just want to shout it out to all the menopausal women out there. It is horrible. It's crap, but you will get through. You will get through it. And, think of all the possibilities that's going to bring.
Yeah. And you know what? But given that this festival will be filled with quite a lot of women like ourselves here today, we're probably a fair representation of the type of women that will be coming along. And actually, we've got lots and lots right across the festival going on in many different contexts around the topic of whether it be our menstrual cycle and how we best support our health, right the way through to both, talking about menopause in a fun, light-hearted, you'll get through it kind of way, as well as having actual hormonal specialists talking about actually how you can have a really happy, healthy menopause with some really simple things in your life that might make it a little bit different. So yeah, I'm hoping all of that stuff really does empower people to think, oh my God, actually, there is so much available at my fingertips. I don't have to go through these different stages in my life traumatically. I can do them really joyfully and have a very different experience if I want to. So yeah, Bev's up for that. Sounds a brilliant session. So yeah, again, different group of ladies this week. More to add to the pot in terms of what is on offer for everybody at Womanifest. I just can't believe it. I'm blown away by just what amazing stuff we're bringing together for this weekend. In a selfish kind of way, I think this is just my perfect weekend. Yeah, it's everything I need, all in the space of a weekend. I want to say under one roof, but it's under a few different roofs because it goes on in lots of different tents. So, hats off to Samantha, to Beth, to Steph for getting involved, for coming and joining me today. And as it's bank holiday weekend, we have got something very special on the go this weekend. It's there you go, put it on the bottom. Our bank holiday bonanza. We've got just a small number of the glamping pods left. And I know lots of people are like, oh yeah, I need to ring the campsite and get that booked. So we've put a very special offer on this weekend because I want these pods booked up by Monday. So let's get the last, I think there's about 7 left. So actually we put an amazing offer on the deluxe or the superior pods with a weekend ticket chucked in, and you can save up not up to, it is just £220 on either of those things. If you want a pod with a hot tub for 2 people, if you want to indulge yourself, go all out, treat yourself nicely, then you can do that with that ticket combo. All the details are on our Facebook page or our Instagram page. The posts have gone out today. So that's on until they go, or Monday. So that's our bank holiday weekend offer. So you can get in on that. So we better get back to it, hadn't we? A bit of rest and rejuvenation is definitely on the cards for this weekend. I hope everybody else manages to get a little bit of that. You can hold me to it. This is me making my public declaration that I will do some of that this weekend. And we'll be back next week with a bit more fun, a bit more hot off the press news, and some more of our lovely guests that will be joining us at the festival. So if you haven't got your ticket already, make sure you do it now. Because, as of tomorrow, we're into our last 3 weeks before the event happens. Soon comes round, doesn't it? Yeah, super excited. Right then, ladies, it's been lovely to have you. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me. And I can't wait to see you all at the festival. Have fun.